On April 22, 2008, Frederick Wilson and his girlfriend were at a home in West Tulsa County when three masked men burst into their house, robbed them, tied them up, then shot and killed Wilson. More than 14 years later, his killers have still never been found. That's why we're very happy to begin a new monthly segment here at noon with the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office, focusing on their still unsolved cases that they're hoping to close. We're joined today by retired Detective Ed Jackson of the Sheriff's Office's Cold Case Task Force to talk through Wilson's case. Ed, welcome in.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for being here. Before we get into the case, real quickly, your unit, your task force is a group of all volunteers, correct?
We are all antique investigators.
Antique investigators.
We're represented by almost every agent. We're a real alphabet soup. FBI, DEA, TPD, Sheriff's Office, etc.
So looking at Wilson's case, this is something that you exclusively took on about 3 years ago, correct?
Correct.
Where's it at now?
Not too far from where it was when I took it over. We have had lots of circumstantial evidence developed, but as of yet, we really don't know enough to bring charges against anybody. And I know people, in fact, I've attempted to interview some people that I know have the answers. Unfortunately, whether it's fear of retaliation or just the code of silence, no one wants to talk about it.
What do we know about this case? I mean, you have a pretty good understanding about what happened, right?
Yes, it's pretty much cut and dried. Frederick Wilson and his girlfriend Micah was watching TV in their house on the 22nd of April that year, and three masked and armed men rushed through the kitchen into the living room, grabbed Frederick Wilson and started beating and threatening and demanding money from him. Wilson told them where he had his money at. They got it. Obviously it wasn't enough, because at this point they threw the couple to the floor and tied them hand and foot and then threw a comforter over them. One of the three stayed in the room to watch them. The other two started searching the house. In a few minutes, the girlfriend heard footsteps and then a gunshot. She managed to get her feet out of her ties and crawl out from under the comforter, and there she discovered that Wilson had been shot at close range through the comforter and was deceased.
So people out there know exactly what happened, and you probably know the people out there that know what happened, but they won't come forward. How frustrating is that for you as an investigator, but to the family is you can't give them that justice that they want?
It's very frustrating. In this case, I visit with Sandra, Freddie Wilson's mother, often, and she, 14 years down the road, is mourning and just as much and just as interested in justice for her son and for the family as she was the day it happened.
How much do you need somebody to speak up?
They do. Police are nothing but power of the people. The people is the ones that grant that power, and it's going to take the people to decide which kind of neighborhood, which kind of city, which kind of country they want to live in, and we need help.
Detective Jackson, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. So if you have any information that could help investigators with this case, call the Tulsa County Cold Case Task Force at the number right there on your screen. That's 918-596-5612. Also, send in tips to an email at tips@tcso.org.